Good evening, everyone. We are coming to you from Grady's Field as we get set for another presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. I'm Charlie Danis. I'll be joined by my broadcast partner, Riley Harshman, in just a moment. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get you the starting lineup as the Hamilton Joes take on your Xenia Scouts. Starting lineup for the Joes looks like this. The left fielder, Trey Compton, will lead off. Justin McConnell, the shortstop, will bat second. Griffin Dorsey, the designated hitter, will bat third. Chris Hamilton, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Sean McGee, in the center fielder, will bat fifth. Chandler Miller will play at second base, and he'll bat sixth. Tyler Thaman, the right fielder, will bat seventh. Colin Homan, the catcher, will bat eighth. And Addison Coffey, he is the third baseman. He will bat ninth for the Joes tonight. Again, so pleased to have you along for the ride tonight, as after a day off on Monday, Scouts are back at Moeller, the lefty, throws a strike. And this game is underway here in Xenia as Moeller goes to work. Trey Compton, the left fielder, pitches up high for a ball. So now the count on Compton is 1-1. So the pitcher on the mound for the Scouts tonight, that would be Ryan Moeller, as that pitch is in there for a strike. Moeller gets ahead 1-2. Moeller making his sixth start of the season for the Scouts here in 2018 as he winds and throws. And the 1-2 pitch, line down the left field line. That is fair. It'll be a base hit. And taking a wide turnaround for first is Compton, but he will just be content with a single, as that ball was played pretty well by Chambers, not allowing it to roll all the way to the wall. So the leadoff man gets on, that being Compton, with a single to left field. And now Justin McConnell will come to the plate. Moeller 1-4 on the season with a 10.26 earned run average, 33 1/3 innings pitched. He has struck out 17. He's walked 33. And Riley, we sound like broken records at this point. Moeller's big-time problem this year in 2018 has been his control, as that pitch is up high for a ball.
Yeah, his control has not been where he wants it to be. He leaves a lot of pitches up in the zone as well, which allows those walks that he allows to get in via the hit. So Moeller, probably this is going to be his last start of the year for the Scouts. So what he has to do is just got to leave it all out there. You got nothing left to lose. Try to end the summer on a high note.
Moeller looking back at first, now delivers. And that pitch catches the inside corner for a call strike, 1-1 the count. Last time Moeller made a start for the Scouts, got to go back to July the 15th when he pitched against Gallion. Lasted only 3 innings, gave up 6 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits, walked 5, and only struck out 1 batter. The pitch. That's swung on and missed. Count moves to 1 and 2 strikes on Justin McConnell. Cloud is overhead here in Xenia. There's been no rain advisory. There's been no thunderstorms or sightings of lightning, so that's very, very good. Otherwise, it's pretty comfortable here at the ballpark as this pitch is fouled off to the right. Compton was running on the pitch. So the count will stay at 1 and 2 strikes on Justin McConnell. Griffin Dorsey, perhaps the best power hitter in terms of homers this year in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, waiting on deck for the Joes. Meanwhile, Moeller sets. Now he throws back to first, runner back in plenty of time. McConnell on the season, 305, no homers, but he has knocked in 26. The pitch, that is just inside. Trying to hit the inside corner did Moeller with that breaking pitch, but now the count is even at 2 and 2 strikes.
That last pitch was a good spot for Moeller's breaking ball. He wants to keep that low in the zone. One of his problems has been that breaking ball staying up in the zone.
2-2 pitch, fouled off to the right. So we'll do it once again. Visibility is such here at the ballpark that they have already turned on the lights here at Grady's Field. And it's only 7:15. Had a little bit of a late start to this game. Umpires were late upon arrival as Moeller steps off the mound. You know, that PA announcer at the beginning of the game might have taken a little long with his announcements as well.
Maybe.
Dorsey still waiting on deck, and now Jarrett Lindsay will trot out to the mound to talk with his left-hander Moeller. Okay, Riley, you've already talked about this a little bit with Moeller perhaps making his last start of the year for the Scouts here in the summer of 2018. Besides the control, what are some other things that he must do in order to have a successful night?
Well, I just said keeping that breaking ball low in the zone is definitely something he's going to need to do because he has allowed a lot of base runners via the walk, and when you leave a curveball up in the zone, hits will happen.
2-2 pitch. High fly ball out to left field. Chambers is going to settle under it. He'll make the catch, and the runner is going to have to slide back into first because Compton was running on that pitch. He's very lucky that he did not run himself into a double play as McConnell flies out for the first out of the frame. So now Griffin Dorshing comes to the plate. All he has done is slug for the Hamilton Joes here in 2018. .317 batting average, 12 homers, and 40 runs batted in. Those are mighty impressive numbers. And as Dorshing steps into the right-handed batter's box, looking to put together a pretty historical season as the pitch is outside. Throw down to second, and the throw is not in time as Compton gets his stolen base, advancing to second on the play. Riley, you and I were told before today's game that Dorshing is on the precipice of history.
Yeah, our beat writer Luke Sievert told us that with Griffin's 12 home runs this year, he's tied for second for most in GLSCL history for a single season. So with a home run today, he'd tie the record, and 2 home runs this week, he could break it.
The pitch. It's down low for a ball. Well, Dorshing certainly has the build of a slugger. 6'4", 275 pounds, and it's a solid 275 pounds. I can tell you that right now. Moeller looks back to second. The pitch. Outside. Dorshing swung and missed at a pitch outside, and the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Dorshing is a native of Greendale, Wisconsin. Currently a sophomore at Northern Kentucky University. Plays first base, plays a little bit of outfield, and tonight he is serving as the designated hitter for the Hamilton Joes. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's in there for a strike, catching the inside corner. Now the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, for those of you not familiar with how Hamilton came up with their nickname, well, if you're a Reds fan, you certainly understand it. But for those of you who don't, Hamilton, the hometown of the famous Joe Nuxall, as Moeller pitches, and that is swung on and missed. Dorshing goes down swinging, 2 gone. Impressive pitch sequence right there by Moeller.
Moeller with a little grin there after that pitch. He left that ball pretty high in the zone, a little bit of a looked like a slider type action, but high in the zone, and Dorshing just couldn't keep up with it.
So now Chris Hamilton will come to the plate, the first baseman for the Joes. Getting back to my original point, Joe Nuxall was a longtime pitcher for the Reds, longtime broadcaster for the Reds. But people always refer to him as Hamilton Joe. That was his native town, place where he grew up. Proud native son, perhaps the most famous person to come out of Hamilton, Ohio, to be honest with you. So that is why the Joes are called what they are, named after the old left-hander, Joe Nuxall. Moeller with the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. 2-0 the count on Chris Hamilton. And by the way, very appropriate that a player like Hamilton plays for the Hamilton Joes, I might say.
Yeah, another thing that Moeller's going to want to do today is not get behind in counts right here. He's 2-0 to Hamilton, but he was also 2-0 to Dorshing. That worked out in his favor, though, but he wants to stay ahead in counts.
Moeller looks back at second. Now here comes the 2-0. That is spanked down the right field line, way out of play, as Hamilton was on it, but just a little out in front. Hamilton this year, .352 batting average, 4 homers, 24 knocked in, and this is a guy that does not strike out all that much. In 128 at-bats, he has struck out only 14 times. That's pretty impressive. Hamilton swinging the stick from the left side against the left-handed throwing Moeller. Here's the 2-1. That's down low, and a nice block by Jared Lindsay. So now the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike on Chris Hamilton. Sean McGeehan, the center fielder for the Joes, waiting on deck for Hamilton. The Joes have decided to don their black jerseys along with their gray pants. Meanwhile, for the Scouts, Columbia blue jerseys along with white pants. Moeller with the pitch. And this is hit into left field. Chambers racing back, and Chandler Chambers makes the catch. Nice play by Chandler Chambers as the Joes go down here in the top half of the first. We head to the bottom half of the first. Hamilton nothing. Scouts coming to bat here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We're heading to the bottom half of the first here at Grady's Field. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup for the Scouts. Batting leadoff and playing in center field will be Cam Murray. The right fielder, Carson Wright, will bat second. Caleb Eater, the first baseman, will bat third. Ryan Bertelsman, the designated hitter, he'll bat cleanup. Nick Tuttle, the shortstop, will bat fifth. Chandler Chambers, the left fielder, who, by the way, made a sensational grab to end the top half of the first, holding the Joe scoreless. He'll play in left field and bat sixth. Jarrett Lindsey, the catcher, will bat seventh. Ben Bills, the third baseman, will bat eighth. And Zach Bacon, the second baseman, he will bat ninth. On the mound tonight for the Joes is the right-hander Ryan Middendorf. And, Riley, if memory serves me correct, this was the very first opposing pitcher that the Scouts faced here in 2018 as Murray sends a ground ball deep in the hole to shortstop. McConnell up with it. The throw by the first baseman. And the carom was a little hard off the wall there, so Murray's going to stay put at first. Question is whether or not they're going to charge an error on that play or not, as we watch the scoreboard intently on that play. So meanwhile, Murray is able to reach, and they give an error to the Joes. So that'll be a throwing error on the shortstop, McConnell, E6, as Carson Wright comes to the plate.
Let's get back to your question, though, Charlie. I do believe that Middendorf was the first pitcher the Scouts saw, and as the Scouts pitchers were pitching only about 2 innings at a time, Middendorf threw almost the whole game, if I recall correctly.
Boy, that was an odd sequence right there after a ball thrown by Middendorf, the catcher. Homan threw a strike down to second, but Murray was not trying to steal on that play. And Miller, the second baseman, with a funny catch. Meanwhile, 1-0 pitch, and Wright misses on the bunt attempt as the count will now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Middendorf making his 8th start of the season for the Joes, native of Westchester, Ohio. 4-1 record with a 3.91 earned run average, and in 43 2/3 innings pitched, he has struck out 34 and walked only 7. Pitches outside for a ball. So Middendorf has exhibited excellent control here in 2018, as evidenced by that walk number. 7 walks in 43 2/3 innings pitched. That's getting it done from a control standpoint. The count is now 2-1 by Carson Wright, the pitch. And it's inside for a ball, so the count will move to 3 balls and 1 strike on Wright, with Caleb Eater waiting on deck for Xenia. Hamilton nothing. Scouts up to bat for the very first time tonight. And Cam Murray is the runner at first after reaching on a throwing error by the shortstop, McConnell. Here comes the 3-1. Wright swings, and this will be a fly ball down the left field line, twisting into foul territory, and almost a tremendous catch by the third baseman, Addison Coffey, but he came up short. Coffey sliding with his back to home plate, trying to catch that ball over his shoulder, but he wasn't able to secure the ball in time. So now the count will run full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Carson Wright, who bats from the left side. Middendorf, the right-hander, resets on the pitching rubber. He'll now set. Here's the payoff, and that's down low. Right with a walk. Runners now at first and second for the Scouts to begin the bottom half of the first.
We haven't seen this too often in the past couple weeks from the Scouts. Starting out the first inning with guys on first and second, you got your three-hitter up. Got to capitalize on this. Got to try to come out to an early lead and put it on the Joes.
So now Caleb Eater comes to the plate, native of Marion, Indiana, product of Indiana Wesleyan University. 1 homer, 8 knocked in, and a .305 batting average. And the pitch is taken on the outside corner for a called strike by Caleb Eater. Joe's infield is at double play depth. Outfield shaded slightly towards left field. The pitch. Outside for a ball. The defense for the Joes looks like this. Homan is the catcher. Kopp at third. McConnell the shortstop. Miller at second. Hamilton at first. Thaman is the right fielder. McGeehan in center. Compton the left fielder. And Mindorf the pitcher on the mound for Hamilton this evening. Next pitch is fouled off to the right by Eater as the count will now move to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Bertelsmann waiting on deck for Xenia. Murray will take his lead off of second. And Carson Wright will do the same off of first. 2 players, by the way, that possess very good speed at the top of the Scouts' batting order. Here comes the pitch, and Eater will swing and pop it up. Foul territory, right side, and that will be out of play. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Caleb Eater. Jason Lester continues to be the acting manager for the Xenia Scouts. We heard more bad news health-wise for Bubba Cates, who started off the year as the Scouts manager. Looks like he will have an extended stay in the hospital because of developing blood clots in his lungs. Never a good time by any means, and we hope that Bubba is able to make a speedy recovery. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And boy, you know, Riley, you and I were talking before today's game. It just seems like it's been one thing after another with Bubba. No man should have to go through pain like that week in and week out, but we know Bubba. He has a very positive attitude, and he is very strong in his faith as well, along with his family, who I'm sure is lending him a lot of emotional support. Coach Cates, if you are listening tonight, we hope to see you back soon. As that pitch is thrown into center field, and both runners will advance. The pickoff move by Mindorf does not work for him. As he throws it into center field, Murray moves up to third. Carson Wright moves up to second.
Yeah, and that throw back to second actually beat Murray there. Murray kind of hesitated a little bit to dive back. That throw beat him there, but it just wasn't a good throw by Mindorf. Went into center field.
Second error of the inning for the Joes. And now runners at second and third with still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. The 1-2, that is inside. And now the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on number 22, that being Caleb Eater. Eater pointing his bat out towards Mindorf. Here's the 2-2. And that's inside, so now we'll go full 3 and 2. Now Caleb Eater is not exactly your prototypical pole hitter. We have seen him hit a bunch of balls into the right center field gap, and right now there's plenty of room for him out there. The payoff. That's fouled off to the right. Well, one thing's for sure, the Scouts are definitely making Mindorf work a little bit here in his first inning of work. Once again, readying for the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch is Eater. Mindorf sets and throws. And here's a high fly ball out to left field. Chasing after is Compton, and Compton will make the catch. Coming in to score from third is Cam Murray. And moving up to third on the play is Carson Wright. It's an RBI sac fly for Caleb Eater. More importantly, the Scouts jump out to an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Eater did a job there. He hit a really, really good ball off the bat there. Unfortunately, just held up there at the warning track, but plenty deep enough to get Cam Murray in there. So very good job by Eater to get a run in and get the Scouts on the board early.
So right now sits at third with 1 out here in the inning, and Ryan Bertelsmann now at the plate, the designated hitter for the Scouts this evening. An RBI opportunity here for Bertelsmann, or as his teammates like to call him, Bert. 0-1 pitch. And that's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Bertelsmann hitting a robust .330 entering play tonight. No homers, 10 knocked in. Does have a double on the season. He's looking for RBI number 11 right here as the infield has now been brought in by Hamilton. Mindorf with the pitch. And that is inside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ryan Bertelsmann. And now Homan, the catcher, will go out to the mound to talk with his right-hander, Mindorf. So an early 1-0 lead here for the Scouts. The run coming to score moments ago on a Caleb Eater sac fly to deep left, driving in Cam Murray. 2 Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League All-Stars combining on that effort. Murray and Eater, part of a 5-man class for the Scouts this year when it came to the All-Star game. And that pitch is outside for a ball, 3-1 the count. And Bertelsmann was part of that class as well, along with Nick Tuttle and Jarrett Lindsay. Here comes the 3-1, and it's hit into the left center field gap. It is going to drop off the glove of McGeehan as he slams his fist in frustration. Coming in to score on an RBI single is Carson Wright. Give RBI number 11 to Ryan Bertelsmann. Give the Scouts a 2-0 lead.
That's exactly what the Scouts needed to start out this final week of play. Just starting out with a good little lead here, a little 2-run lead, start out the first inning, and they've really gotten at Middendorf, and Middendorf struggling up there a little bit.
So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Tuttle hitting .356. No homers. 17 knocked in. The pitch, and Tuttle gets hit squared in the back. There wasn't even a question that that pitch was going to hit Tuttle. Bigger question was, how would Tuttle try to protect himself? And he just had his back face towards the mound and took the pitch. And now he'll trot on down to first. That'll put Bertelsmann at second. 2-0 lead for the Scouts. 1 gone here in the bottom half of the first. And now Homan, the catcher, walking out towards the mound to talk with Mindorf once again. There's a conference on the mound. That's not Adam Grissom. I believe that's Andrew Gunther, if I had to guess. Actually, that looks like another player. We're trying to figure out who made that visit to the mound. Rather odd that a player, not a coach, would make an appearance like that. And apparently his number is not on the roster. Oh, well. Back to the game now, and Chandler Chambers coming to bat. Takes a strike from Middendorf. 0-1 the count on Chandler Chambers, who made a sensational catch, diving to his right in left field and robbing Chris Hamilton of extra bases. 0-1 pitch. And it is a liner down the right field line, foul. Chambers hitting .238, no homers and 9 knocked in. Does have 4 doubles on the season. Already a 2-0 lead for the Scouts thanks to an RBI sac fly by first baseman Caleb Eater and then an RBI single by Ryan Bertelsmann. 0-2. Down low and outside for a ball. 1-2 the count on Chandler Chambers. It's not often that we've seen the Scouts, particularly during this very rough stretch, get off to a quick lead, be the first team to score. But that has been the case so far tonight for Xenia. As Mindorf straightens up on the mound, looks back to second, now delivers, and here's a liner into center field for a base hit. Bertelsmann is going to race around third. There might be a play at the plate. He is safe! Chandler Chambers with an RBI single. The run scoring continues for the Scouts as Bertelsmann comes in, barely gets under the tag of the catcher home, and a 3-0 lead for Xenia.
We know Bertelsmann's got a lot of speed, and he had a great jump off the contact of Chambers' hit there. Again, and also Chambers was a great piece of hitting there with 2 strikes, but Bertelsmann a good slide, getting around the tag and safe at home. The Scouts have a big lead here early.
And now, home and the catcher yet again goes out to the mound to talk with Mittendorf. So another brief pause in the action. This inning started with a throwing error by the shortstop McConnell, as Cam Murray was able to reach safely. That was followed by a walk by Carson Wright. Both runners were able to move up via wild pitch. Caleb Eater then drove in Cam Murray with an RBI sac fly. That was followed by an RBI single by Ryan Bertelsmann. And then since then, Nick Tuttle hit by a pitch. And then moments ago, the RBI single by Chandler Chambers. All adds up to an early 3-0 lead for the Scouts as Middendorf gets back to work and delivers a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike to the catcher, Jarrett Lindsey. Lindsey batting .246, a homer and 5 knocked in. Looking to keep this inning going for the Scouts. And it's been a big frame so far for the boys from Xenia, as that pitch is on the outside corner yet again, almost the identical spot of the previous pitch. And Lindsey now finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Jarrett quickly back into the right-handed batter's box as Middendorf once again straightens up on the mound. Here's the 0-2, and it's fouled off to the right. Middendorf, wearing number 33 on the back of the jersey. Hamilton has an impressive color scheme with yellow numbers and letters outlined by red. Against a black jersey. Pretty sharp look, if you ask me. 0-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Boy, you want to talk about living on the edge. That's what Middendorf was able to do that time, and that at bat as Lindsey goes down looking. 2 gone.
Yeah, Middendorf finished Lindsey off with a little slider there. It started on the outside part of the plate and just kept sliding away. Got to think that might have been a ball when a catcher caught it, but that doesn't matter. It matters when it crosses the plate.
Ben Bills, first pitch swinging, fly ball out to right field. Thaman is under it, and he will make the catch for the final out of the frame. But not before. 3 runs cross the plate for the Scouts on a couple of hits. A couple men are left on base as well for Xenia. We head to the top half of the second. Xenia 3, Hamilton nothing here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Three nothing lead for the Scouts as we head to the top half of the second. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. So pleased to have you along for the ride for another presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We are here at Grady's Field. A beautiful night here in Xenia. Yes, clouds are overhead. It is a little overcast, but otherwise very comfortable here at the ballpark tonight. Ryan Moeller back to work on the mound for the Scouts, and the first pitch that he delivers to Sean McGeehan, the center fielder, is up high for a ball. Scouts with a very successful inning from a scoring standpoint. That last half frame as that pitch is swung on and missed by McGeehan. RBI sac fly by Eater, RBI single by Ryan Bertelsmann, and another RBI single, this time by Chandler Chambers. The key blows in that 3-run bottom half of the first for Xenia as the pitch is outside for a ball. 2-1 the count on Sean McGeehan. The pitch. And that's swung on and missed by McGeehan. And now the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
with this lead, I would love to see Moeller to really attack this Hamilton Joe's lineup now with that 3-run lead, try to hold the lead for a few innings.
McGeehan with a hot shot down the third baseline foul. Count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGeehan, a .311 batter, 3 homers, and 16 knocked in. Moeller with the wind and the pitch. That is fouled down the third baseline once again by McGeehan. Count still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Moeller. Moeller quickly back on the rubber. He's a quick worker. 2-2. That is swung on and missed, but it'll roll all the way to the backstop. McGeehan will be able to reach safely. So put that down as a strikeout, swinging. Second of the night for Moeller, but McGeehan is able to reach first via the dropped third strike. So now Chandler Miller, the second baseman, will come a-calling offensively tonight for Xenia. .246 batter, no homers and 16 knocked in. Scouts infield at double play depth. The pitch by Moeller. Inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Talked about it in the first inning about how control issues have really plagued Moeller here in 2018, but he's been handed a good-sized 3-0 lead early on in this game. Let's see if he can make it stand up as that pitch is outside, and now he's gone 2-0 against Chandler Miller.
Moeller sometimes has a tendency to not finish his pitches, especially when he goes from the stretch. You see his body stays really upward when he should be bending over and finishing that pitch, so he really needs to stay with those mechanics.
Runner going, and no throw from Jarrett Lindsey. Easy stolen base that time by McGeehan. Quick look at the Scouts' defense. Chambers in left field, Murray in center. Wright is in right field. Bill's the third baseman, Tuttle at shortstop, Bacon at second. Eater the first baseman, Lindsey the catcher, and the aforementioned Moeller, the left-hander, on the mound for Xenia. And here's a ball hit into center field. It will drop for a base hit. They're going to send the runner around, and that'll be cut off by Caleb Eater, as that will be an RBI single for Chandler Miller. It's now a 3-1 lead for Xenia.
That pitch was just over the plate. Miller put a good swing on it. He was ahead in the count, and when you're ahead in the count, you could be a little more aggressive at the plate. Found a good pitch over the plate and drove it out to right center field. Good piece of hitting, and Joe's bite into the Scouts' lead a little bit.
And that dropped third strike by Lindsey. Comes back to haunt Xenia as McGeehan is able to come all the way around to score. Muller, meanwhile, will go to work on Tyler Thaman. Thaman, the right fielder tonight for the Joes, as that pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Thaman has struggled a little bit offensively. .208 batter, 2 homers. Has been a run producer a little bit, 14 RBIs. Pitch is outside for a ball. Now it's a 2-0 count on Thaman. The control starting to wane a little bit for Moeller here in the top half of the second, as he is now, well, what you like to call laboring here in the frame. Moeller looks at the runner at first. High leg kick, the pitch, and this is fouled off to the right. Two and one the count now on Tyler Thaman. The Joes enter play tonight with a record of 17-19. They are currently a game and a half back of Galleon for that third and final playoff spot within the Southern Division. And the throw over to first, runner going, throw down to second. He is out. Score that as 1-3-4 on the play. One gone.
That's what those lefties can do. We haven't really seen Moeller really work his pickoff move like that before, but had that hesitation in his leg kick and thought he could go, and Moeller said no.
2-1 pitch. Up high for a ball. 3-1 the count. Galleon 18-17. Hamilton 17-19. So There's still a little bit of a race there for that final playoff spot in the Southern Division. High fly ball out to left center. Under it was Chandler Chambers, and he will make the play. 2 gone in the inning. Colin Holman, the catcher, will now come to the plate. Meanwhile, the Scouts enter play 9-27. Only a half game ahead of last place Licking County in the Southern Division, and still stuck on 9 wins as that pitch is inside for a ball. Scouts and Licking County, the only 2 teams in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League who have yet to tally double-digit wins here in 2018. Moeller with the pitch, and that's swung on and missed. 1-1 the count now on Homan. Homan on the year, 254 batter, no homers, and 5 knocked in. Moeller with the next pitch, and that swung on and missed. Nice curveball by Moeller as he gets ahead on the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Homan waiting on the 1-2. And did he go? Yes, he did. So that will end the inning for the Joes. 1 run on a hit and no men left on base. We head to the bottom half of the second. Xenia 3, Hamilton 1 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom half of the second here at Grady's Field. It is a 3-1 lead for the Scouts as Xenia comes to bat once again. What will they do for an encore after a 3-run bottom half of the first? Well, the number 9 batter, Zach Bacon, the second baseman, will now be coming to the plate for Xenia. Zach has batted 183 to this point, no homers and 12 knocked in. Does have 3 doubles here in 2018 for the Scouts, and he's looking to be a second leadoff man of sorts. Sometimes you put guys in the number 9 hole in your lineup to simply turn the batting order around and instantly get to that leadoff man, that being Cam Murray tonight for Xenia, as Bacon will take a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Middendorf quickly back at it, and Bacon sends one out to right field. Jogging under it and making the catch is Thaman for the first out of the inning. So now Cam Murray will come to the plate, and he was the guy that got things started offensively for the Scouts. Able to reach on a fielder's error by the shortstop McConnell, then was able to advance to all the way to third on a throwing error by Middendorf. Later came around to score on the RBI sac fly by Caleb Beater. Middendorf with the pitch, and it is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Now on Cam Murray. Middendorf rocks and deals. That pitch is outside for a ball. Middendorf has a pretty interesting hitch when it comes to his delivery towards the plate. Kind of kicks his front leg up in the air and then very quickly brings it back down. And this will be a grounder out to short. McConnell is up with it. Throw to first. This time is in time. And to the first baseman. 2 gone.
You see Middendorf after that rough first inning is a lot more comfortable. So look for him to try to settle down and try to set the Scouts lineup in order.
Carson Wright will now come to the plate for the Scouts. Walked his first time up and later came around to score on an RBI single by Ryan Bertelsmann. Mindorf with the pitch. And that's inside for a ball as Wright had to kind of duck out of the way of that one. 1-0 the count on Wright. And Mindorf quickly back at it. This is a high pop-up into left field. Compton under it, making the catch for the final out of the inning. Scouts go down 1-2-3. And the bottom of the second, we head to the top half of the third. But the Scouts leading the Joes 3-1 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Mr. Sun has decided to come out from behind the clouds as we begin play here in the top half of the third. Xenia 3, Hamilton 1. Charlie Danis, Riley Harshman joining you from now a very sunny Grady's Field. And we say that because for most of the day it's been very, very cloudy. But good to see some sunlight here as we are approaching the 8 o'clock hour. Now Addison Coffey, the third baseman, coming to the plate for the first time tonight for Hamilton. Batting from the right side against the lefty Moeller, and he promptly swings and misses at the first offering for Moeller, a breaking ball down low. Coffey on the season, 244, a homer, and 15 knocked in. Here's the 0-1. That's outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Well, in the last half inning for Moeller, did give up that run on the RBI single by Chandler Miller. He was able to not allow that trouble to snowball, as we have seen so often in this wretched stretch for the Scouts. 2 balls, 1 strike, the pitch. And that is down low for a ball, 3-1 the count. And that might have gotten a piece of our home plate umpire, too. He's walking around. He took the mask off. Sometimes it is tough work being a catcher, being an umpire. There are bad hops, there are bad bounces, and there are definitely bad ricochets, whether it comes off the bat or the glove or whatever. As Lindsey will go out to the mound and talk with Moeller. The conference on the mound now over. Lindsey is now heading back behind home plate. Coffey, meanwhile, working with a 3 balls, 1 strike count against Moeller. Coffey, the number 9 hitter, 9-1-2, scheduled to bat here for Hamilton as Trey Compton, the left fielder, patiently waits on deck for Hamilton. Here's the 3-1. That's outside. It'll be a walk for Coffey. And that is actually the first walk of the night for Moeller. So now Trey Compton will come to the plate. Compton with a single his first time up. And now Jason Lester, the acting manager for the Scouts, is walking out to the mound to talk with Moeller. It's just Lester. It's just Moeller. Nobody is warming up in the bullpen, I should say, for the Scouts. So now Lester will head back to the Scouts dugout. Moeller, meanwhile, getting set to reset here. What do you think that conversation was about, Riley?
I haven't the faintest clue. Maybe Lester saw Moeller ailing a little bit. Maybe thought he hurt himself a little bit on something, went out to make sure he was okay. That's the only thing I could gather from that was just a walk. We've seen plenty of those from Moeller this year.
Moeller with a pitch, and that's fouled back as Compton, boy, slammed his bat in frustration, leading one to believe that he missed that last pitch. 0-1 pitch on the way. And this is fouled off to the right, somewhere near the Joes bullpen, down the right field line. And now Compton finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Shadows starting to creep in here a little bit for Grady's Field, mainly from the left side. Pitch up high. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Compton. Compton batting .307 with no homers and 15 knocked in. Moeller sets. Delivers. Inside for a ball. Throw down to second. Not in time. That'll be a stolen base for Addison Coffey. So a runner in scoring position for the Joes. Still nobody out here in the top half of the third. It's a 3-1 lead for the Scouts, at least at the moment. As Moeller once again sets on the hill. 2-2 on the way. Inside, so now we'll go full 3-2. Moeller staring intently at that runner on second, that being Coffey. Now he'll turn his attention to the batter, Compton. Payoff pitch. Here's a fly ball into left center. That'll drop for a base hit. They will wave the runner around. Coffey comes in to score. Throw down to second. Not in time. Credit Compton with a single. Moves up to second on the throw home. Coffey, meanwhile, comes in to score. An RBI single for Trey Compton. And now it's only a 1-run lead for the Scouts. Xenia 3, Hamilton 2.
Moeller started Compton out there with an 0-2 count and let him get back in with 3 straight balls. You know, with the 0-2 count, your batter is very defensive because they're just 1 strike away. There's plenty of balls for the pitcher to work with, so they're very defensive. And then when you throw 3 straight balls, you put them right back in the mix of things.
Justin McConnell now up at bat for the Joes as that pitch is inside for a ball. 1-0 the count on McConnell, who flew out to left field his last time up. So Compton is sitting over there at second, already acting as the potential tying run here for Hamilton. The pitch by Moeller. That's 5 for a ball. 2-0 the count. And Riley, while we have a moment, let's go ahead and give you tonight's trivia question.
So tonight's trivia question is about the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame began inductions in 1936 with 5 players. Which of the following years had the most inductions into the Hall? Was it 1988, 1965, 1941, or 2006?
The pitch. And that is fouled off to the left by Justin McConnell. Boy, hard to believe, but the Baseball Hall of Fame inductions, hallowed grounds of Cooperstown, New York, right around the corner. As Justin McConnell continues to bat here for the Joes. 2 balls, 1 strike with a count for McConnell. Moeller looking back at second. Now he'll deliver. And here's a high fly ball out to left field. Chambers racing back, and he'll watch it leave the yard. A 2-run homer for the Joes shortstop, Justin McConnell. And just like that, Hamilton takes the lead 4-3.
I talked about it earlier when the Scouts got the 3-0 lead that Moeller had to really work hard out there to try to keep that lead, because that's something the Scouts have really done over this rough stretch. They either get the lead and lose it pretty quickly, or they never have the lead at all. And we're seeing the former here right now.
So McConnell with a 2-run homer, giving Hamilton his first lead of the night. And speaking of homers, here's a guy that has hit them in bunches this year for the Joes, that being Griffin Doersching. Doersching with 12 homers here in 2018 as that pitch is down low for a ball. By the way, that homer by McConnell is his first of the season. And also give him RBIs 27 and 28 with that one mighty swing as that ball cleared the left center field wall. 1 ball, 1 strike. The outfield wall here at Grady's Field increases by increments of 2 feet as you go more and more inward as Dorshing sends a hot shot to short. Tuttle with the throw over to first. And that'll be in time for the first out of the inning.
Number 27, Chris Hamilton.
Along the foul lines, the wall is 4 feet. Left center, right center, 6 feet. And then finally, dead center, 8 feet. That is how the fence increases in size in terms of height here at Grady's Field. And now Chris Hamilton will come to the plate. Hamilton flew out to left his last time up. He was flat out robbed on a gorgeous sliding play by Chandler Chambers, that ending the top half of the first at the time. Hamilton with a bunt attempt. Now he pulls it back as that pitch is down low for a ball. 1-1 the count on Chris Hamilton. Hamilton's batting average the best on this Joe's squad, a scintillating .352, 4 homers and 24 knocked in. The pitch has swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Chris Hamilton. It is a 3-run inning thus far for Hamilton. As that pitch is up high for a ball, as the Joes have claimed their first lead of the game, 4-3. RBI single by Trey Compton, followed shortly thereafter by a 2-run homer by Justin McConnell. And now here's a pitch lined into right center for a base knock. That'll be a single for Chris Hamilton. That is the 3rd hit of the inning for the Joes.
Number 10, Sean.
These past couple batters, Moeller's been leaving some pitches over the middle of the plate, high in the zone, and Hamilton's been taking advantage of it. They're just hitting everything to the outfield right now. Moeller's got to try to relocate his command and keep balls low in the zone and try to keep this inning from getting too out of hand.
The center fielder, Sean McGeehan, now coming to the plate for Hamilton. McGeehan struck out swinging, but reached first safely due to a drop first, 3rd strike. As a throw down to second, not in time. It's another stolen base for the Joes, this time by Chris Hamilton. After McGeehan got on, he was able to come all the way around to score thanks to an RBI single by Chandler Miller. This, of course, coming after McGeehan had stolen second. So now McGeehan trying to get on base once again. Waiting on the 1-0, and the 1-0 is up high for a ball. 2-0 the count now on McGeehan. The 6th batter of the inning, that being Mr. McGeehan for Hamilton. And 3 runs have crossed the plate already for the Joes. Only 1 out here in the top half of the 3rd. The pitch, that's in there for a strike. 2-1 the count on McGeehan. Boy, it's hard to believe, but this is the last full week of baseball for the Scouts. For everybody in the GLSCL in this 2018 regular season, that pitch is inside for a ball. Scouts will be at Hamilton tomorrow, taking on the Joes for one final time in 2018. That game is scheduled for a 7:05 start. As Moeller is... Here it comes, back. We'll go full series with the Joes. They will then host Cincinnati on Thursday. Steam coming up here to Xenia. That game's scheduled for 7:05. Friday, we head down to the Queen City for another 7:05 game. As Moeller will spin around and chase the runner, that being Hamilton, back to second. Following the game in Cincy on Friday, we head to Richmond, Indiana for the final time on Saturday night. And then finally, Sunday afternoon baseball here at Grady's Field, the season finale, as this will be fouled off to the left. That game scheduled for a 4:05 first pitch. Looks like Landon Myers, by the way, the right-hander for Xenia, is getting warmed up in the Scouts bullpen. The way this inning is going for Moeller, this might be his final inning of work. Meanwhile, McGeehan continues to battle him tooth and nail here at the plate. 2-1. And that's a foul ball down the left field line, excuse me. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Waiting on deck for Hamilton is Chandler Miller. So after tonight, 5 more games left in the 2018 regular season. The pitch. And here's a high pop-up into shallow left field. Chambers, who's been very busy so far tonight, making another catch. 2 gone in the inning. And now Chandler Miller will come to the plate. Miller singled his last time up. He drove in McGeehan with an RBI single back in the second, but then he was later picked off. Your guard variety 1-3-4 play that ultimately gunned him down at second base. And now Jason Lester making another trip to the mound once again. Looks as though he might be making a pitching change as Myers continues to warm in that bullpen for the Scouts. Lester might be just trying to buy Landon some time out there, and now he officially makes the change. So Myers will come in. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for the Scouts in just a moment. The Joes still batting here in the top half of the third. It's Hamilton 4, Xenia 3, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Landon Myers is the new pitcher on the mound for the Scouts as the Joes continue to bat here in the top half of the third. It's Hamilton 4, Xenia 3. Myers making his 9th appearance of the season for the Scouts, comes in here with a record of 0-3, 7.7 earned run average, and in 22 innings pitched, he has struck out 7, and he has walked 14. His last appearance coming on July the 22nd against the Green Giants, and in a third, 1 hit, no runs given up, no strikeouts, no walks. So Myers takes over for Ryan Moeller, who threw a little bit over 70 pitches in this game, and Moeller departs, having given up already 4 runs on 5 hits. Myers looking to stop the bleeding here. 2 gone in the inning, but already 3 runs have come to cross the plate for Hamilton. The first coming on an RBI single by Trey Compton, and then 2 more coming on a 2-run homer over the left center field wall by shortstop Justin McConnell. So now Chandler Miller will make his way to the plate. Miller singling his first time up. Runner at second continues to be Chris Hamilton. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. So Myers will get set on the mound here. Myers has a sign. The pitch. Down low for a ball. Well, Riley, yet another frustrating evening for Ryan Moeller, who looked good the first couple of innings, but again, let things snowball a little bit due to some control issues.
Yeah, it's usually been the tale of just one inning for Moeller. One inning usually kills him. He allows a few runners to get on base via the walk, leaves some pitches up in the zone, and things just go haywire for him up there.
Miller fouling it off to the right. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Joes' second baseman. Myers sets on the mound. 1-1. That's swung on and missed. 1-ball, 2-strike count on Chandler Miller. Look overhead, there's a lot of cloud coverage, but there still continues to be a lot of sunshine raining down here at Grady's Field. The 1-2 pitch. That's a base hit into center field. They're going to wave around the runner. He will score. RBI single for Chandler Miller as he knocks in Hamilton with a single to center. Fourth run of the inning for the Joes, who now lead 5-3.
That's just a good piece of two-strike hitting. Myers put that ball pretty low in the zone. A little bit over the plate, but still just a good piece of hitting with 2 strikes by Miller there. Just drove it right back up the middle.
Second hit of the night for Miller. First RBI of the night for Miller. As this pitch is promptly popped into foul territory, and running out of room is Eater, as Tyler Thaman has now come to the plate. Thaman flew out to left field his last time up. So now 4 runs have crossed the plate for the Joes here in the top half of the third, as they have now increased their lead to 2. Hamilton 5, Xenia 3. Myers, meanwhile, just trying to get the heck out of Dodge here in this frame, as this pitch is swung on and missed by Thaman. It's an 0-2 count on the Joes right fielder. Taps home plate with the baseball bat, waiting on the 0-2. Here it comes. Outside for a ball. Classic waste pitch right there. A pitch that dived away from home plate. Myers was hoping that Thaman would chase after that pitch, but Thaman, showing good pitch recognition there, stays alive at least for the moment. 1-2. Here's a grounder up the middle. Tuttle with the stop. Throw to first is not going to be in time as the ball skips away from Caleb Eater, and now advancing to third on the play is Chandler Miller. I think if Eater is able to hold on to that ball ever so slightly, Scouts have a chance to get out of the inning, but Thaman is able to reach. Nice hustle, though, by Tuttle out there at short. So runners at first and second. And for right now, I believe they have scored that last play a hit for Thaman, as this will be a foul ball at the plate by Colin Homan, who struck out swinging his last time up. So now Colin Homan, the 9th batter of this inning for Hamilton. Landon with the pitch. That is on the outside corner for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Colin Homan. Myers, pitch, floater into center, and it'll be caught by Cam Murray for the final out of the frame. But not before Hamilton is able to scratch across 4 runs here in the top half of the third. We head to the bottom half of the third. Hamilton 5, Xenia 3, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. we're getting ready for the bottom half of the third here at Grady's Field. Hamilton leading Xenia 5-3. Speaking of scores, let me get you updated with some other scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. There's a final in Saginaw. The Sugar Beets defeating the Richmond Jazz Knight by a final of 7-6. They're in the bottom half of the fourth at Lake Erie. The Monarchs and the visiting Grand Lake Mariners are tied at 4 in that ball game. Top half of the fifth in Muskegon. The Clippers leading the Lima Locos in that one 7-1. They're in the top half of the fourth down in the Queen City of Cincinnati. The hometown Steam trailing the Licking County Settlers 4-0 in that one. Bottom half of the fourth in Galleon. The Graders trailing the visiting Southern Ohio Copperheads 3-1. They're in the bottom half of the fourth in St. Clair, where we were a couple days ago, as a matter of fact. The Green Giants leading the Irish Hills Leprechauns 8-2. As the pitch to Eater is taken outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. And finally, our game. A 5-3 game in favor of Hamilton. Eater taking a pitch on the outside corner. Hamilton erupting for 4 runs in the top half of the third. Chasing the Scouts, left-handed starter Ryan Moeller off the hill in the process as Eater swings and fouls that one off to the right. Eater with an RBI sac fly back in the bottom half of the first. That produced not 1, not 2, but 3 runs for Scouts at the time. Middendorf, meanwhile, rocks and deals. And here's a high pop-up into center field. McGeehan will race in. He's under it, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Mr. Harshman, I believe that we have a trivia question that we need answers.
Yes, we do. So, trivia question was regarding the Hall of Fame. So, the Hall of Fame began inductions in 1936 with 5 players. Which of the following years had the most inductions into the Hall of Fame? And those years were 1988, 1965, 1941, and 2006.
That pitch is taken for a strike by Berlesman. Boy, this is really tough. That pitch is taken on the outside corner for a call strike. Boy, for the first time, I always tend to have a little bit of an inkling when it comes to these trivia questions that you bring up, Riley. I have no clue about this one. I'm being completely honest with you. As that pitch is inside for a ball, I'm going to take an absolute shot in the dark and say C.
UP. C was 1941. You would be incorrect. The correct answer was 2006.
Bertelsmann with a fly ball down the right field line. This will be extra bases.
1941. You would be incorrect. The correct answer was 2006.
Bertelsmann with a fly ball down the right field line. This will be extra bases, and it will bounce over the wall. It will be a stand-up double for Ryan Bertelsmann, and boy, kind of wish that ball had taken a little bit of a hop right there because the way Bertelsmann was running around the bases, he might have had 3.
He might have. And trying to get back to that trivia question a little bit, 2006 was the correct year, and they had 18 inductions that year, one of which was Bruce Sutter, and the other 17 were Negro League legends. So a lot of the Negro League getting love in 2006 and causing that 18 inductions.
The pitch is in there for a call strike. I'm one of those guys when it comes to Hall of Fames, and it doesn't have to be baseball. It could be football. It could be hockey. It could be basketball. I say, depending upon who's on the ballot, as Tuttle takes a ball up high, try to let as many people in as possible. I know that there are a lot of people out there that say, oh, this is hallowed ground. You should let in the best of the best of the best. Well, it's not all that much fun when you only have 1 or 2 players going in every year. Middendorf with the pitch, and that is inside for a ball. For example, I remember when Barry Larkin, Hall of Fame shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds, went in a couple years ago, and he was the only guy that went in. Now, granted, still a great honor for Larkin to join the hallowed halls of Cooperstown, but I'm sure he would have loved to share his experience with somebody else, one of his contemporaries, as the pitch is fouled off to the right. Now, I don't want to say I want to go overboard. Say with the Baseball Hall of Fame, you let in 7 or 8 different guys. I'm not saying that. To me, a good number for a Hall of Fame induction class, I think anywhere from 3 to 5. At least in my opinion. As Tuttle will take a pitch inside for a ball. It's now 3-2 on Nick Tuttle. I mean, what do you say about that, Riley?
I would like to see at least 3 get in every year, but I'm also with the fact that it is hollow ground. You really have to have an exemplary career to get into the Hall of Fame. And so I would like to see three, but not all the time you see three guys on the ballot that are deserving.
Tuttle with a grounder over to first, and he's going to be able to beat it out for a base hit. The ball was fielded by the first baseman Hamilton, but he was in no man's land as Mindorf tried to rush over to the bag off the mound. Mindorf was not able to get there in time, and Nick Tuttle is able to beat it out for an infield single.
Yeah, and that was a well-placed grounder there by Tuttle, just very, very far off the bag for the first baseman to field, and Mindorf got a late jump on it, and Tuttle's got some great speed, so he was able to get there safely.
And now Chandler Chambers is coming to the plate for Xenia. Singled his last time up. Had an RBI single back in the first, as a matter of fact. The pitch, and he fouls it off to the right. Now they are expecting a big-time Hall of Fame class in Cooperstown coming up this weekend. Can't believe it's already here. The pitch, runner going. It's a base hit into center field. That's going to be an RBI single for Chandler Chambers. Now running all the way around, and now they got the runner in a pickle, and he jumps over. No, he is tagged out by the catcher, Homan. So Tuttle is tagged out. Bertelsmann, meanwhile, is able to score on the play, put that down as an RBI single for Chandler Chambers. By the way, very fortuitous was Chambers because as he was hitting that ball, the second baseman Miller was going over to the bag to cover on a stolen base attempt by Tuttle, thereby putting him out of position on that screamer to center for Chambers. In the end, the Scouts are able to draw to within one. It's now 5-4 in favor of Hamilton. So now Middendorf back to work against Jarrett Lindsay. And this is a high pop-up into right field. The catch will be made, and that is that for the Scouts. But Xenia is able to get one run on 3 hits that frame and draw a little bit closer to Hamilton. We head to the top half of the fourth. It's Hamilton 5, Xenia 4, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the fourth here at Grady's Field. It's a 5-4 game. Hamilton holding the slim 1-run lead over the hometown Scouts. And now Addison Coffey will come to the plate. He was the one that touched off what would be a 4-run third inning for the Joes, in which they sent 9 men to the plate and scored 4 runs. Landon Myers back on the hill for the Scouts. No kick and deal. And the curveball bends in there for a called strike. Coffey, Compton, and McConnell, the scheduled batters for the Joes this frame. As the pitch misses inside for a ball. And if anybody gets on, we get to see the mammoth, the hulking Griffin Dorsey. 1-1 pitch. and is up high for a ball. By the way, go ahead and close the book on Ryan Moeller, the starter tonight for Xenia. 2 2/3, 5 runs, all of them earned on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. Myers, meanwhile, with a 2-1. That's inside. 3-1 the count now on Addison Coffey, who walked and then later came around to score on an RBI single by Trey Compton. Here is the 3-1 pitch. That swung on and missed. We'll go full, 3-2. Compton waiting on deck for Hamilton. Grady's field completely enveloped by shadow. The pitch. And here's a screamer into left field. That'll be a base hit for Coffey, his first hit of the night. Riley and I were talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame, about the largest classes. You know, what's the appropriate number for a given year? Well, they're going to have a big class here in 2018. Former Atlanta Braves standout Chipper Jones joining feared slugger Vladimir Guerrero. Another feared slugger in Jim Thome, one of the greatest players to don a Cleveland Indians uniform, as that pitch is inside and almost hit Compton in the head. One of the greatest closers of all time, Trevor Hoffman. And then 2 members of that famed 1984 World Series champion Detroit Tigers ball club. The right-hander Jack Morris and the shortstop Alan Trammell. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. In all, it is a 6-man class for the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2018. Myers with the pitch. The 1-1. And here's a high pop-up. Drifting in the shallow left field. Actually staying in the infield is Tuttle. He'll make the catch for the first out. Riley, I would imagine, just wanting to get your opinion on this, I think all 6 of those guys, in some way, shape, or form, deserved induction, with Morris and Trammell in particular having to wait a long time to get into Cooperstown.
Yeah, those first 3 guys you named were first ballot, definitely deserving. I mean, Chipper Jones, I remember watching him growing up, one of the best switch hitters the game has ever seen. Vlad, a very good power hitter, was a pioneer for Latin American players.
Fly ball to right field. Nice running catch made by Wright. 2 gone.
And come back around to Jim Thome, who, like you said, was a great slugger, played for a few different ball clubs, including the Indians, who's probably most prominent for, and just was a guy you can always depend on in getting a home run. And Vlad and Jim Thome are really good designated hitters in the latter half of their careers as well.
Griffin Dorsey, speaking of designated hitters, now up for Hamilton. He has struck out swinging, and he's also ground out the short. It has been a quiet night thus far for the Joes slugging DH. Myers with the pitch, and the curveball's in there for a called strike. Yeah, Jones will go down as one of the greatest third basemen, certainly one of the greatest switchers of all time. Vlad Guerrero, one of the greatest bad ball hitters of all time. That guy could swing at anything and still have a chance to go out. And this will be a high pop-up into foul territory. Eater will make the catch, and we will continue this discussion about the 2018 class for the Baseball Hall of Fame coming up in the next half inning. In the meantime, we head to the bottom half of the 4th. It is Hamilton 5, Xenia 4, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the bottom of the fourth we go. It is a 5-4 lead for Hamilton as the Scouts come to bat once again. Ben Bills, the third baseman, will lead things off for the boys from Xenia. Bills flew out to right field his last time up. Middendorf still out there on the mound for the Joes as that pitch is outside for a ball. We continue our discussion about the 2018 class for the Baseball Hall of Fame coming up this weekend. 6 more plaques will be added to the Howard Halls in Cooperstown as the pitch is outside for a ball. Chipper Jones, Vladimir Guerrero, Jim Thome, Trevor Hoffman, Jack Morris, and Alan Trammell. Talk a little bit about Chipper Jones and Vlad Guerrero in the last half inning, as this will be a ground ball out to second. Throw to first will be in time. A 4-3 ground out victim. That's what Ben Bills becomes to begin this frame, as Zach Bacon will now come to the plate. Well, Jim Thome, he'll certainly go down as one of the greatest sluggers in baseball history, but if he was a great slugger, he's an even better human being. One of the nicest guys that you would ever want to meet. Really endeared himself to the fans of Cleveland, clearly, during his time with the Indians, and really anywhere else he went. As that pitch is outside. Gentleman Jim. That's the moniker that he often sported during his playing career, and a very well-deserved. It's always great to see not only a great player, but a guy that played with class en route to the Hall of Fame get that wanted plaque. So congratulations to Jim Thome as the pitch is outside to Bacon. It's now 2-0 on the second baseman. Bacon flying out to right his last time up. And that pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera will probably go down as the greatest closer in baseball history, as the pitch is fouled off at the plate. 2-2 the count on Bacon. But Riley, and feel free to disagree with me if you want, I think a strong case could be made that Trevor Hoffman is the second greatest closer in baseball history.
I would agree with you there, partner. I think you definitely got to put Rivera at 1 and definitely Hoffman at 2.
2-2 pitch is fouled off to the right.
2 guys that are just known for coming into the game. And, you know, in that 9th inning, if you were on an opposing team, you saw one of those 2 guys coming out to the mound, you didn't think all hope was lost, but it definitely crossed your mind. Those guys really shut the door on teams.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right. Great closers. You think of Mariano Rivera, you think of Trevor Hoffman, Dennis Eckersley. Boy, he had quite the run with the Oakland A's. Players like that, once those guys enter the game with their team up by however many runs at that point, the writers, they start typing away at their game stories. Because more often than not, those guys were able to close the door. It's now a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Zach Bacon. Cam Murray waiting on deck for Xenia as Middendorf rocks and fires. And this will be a fly ball to left field. That'll find some turf. It's a single for Zach Bacon.
And a great at-bat for him, too. That at-bat took 8 pitches, and Bacon getting a single out of it. That's what happens when you really work a pitcher like that, really make him fight. Then one of those mistake pitches are going to come, and Bacon capitalized. So
now the tying run is on base here in the bottom half of the 4th. Scouts trailing the Joes 5-4. And now we go back to the top of the order for the Scouts to the leadoff man, Cam Murray. Murray takes a pitch outside for a ball. Murray so far in the night reached on a throwing error by the shortstop McConnell. Later came around to score back in the 1st. And then he followed that up with a ground out to short back in the 2nd. Here's the 1-0. That is on the inside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Middendorf with the pitch, and that's a strike on the outside quarter to Cam Murray. So Hoffman going in. And then finally, 2 guys that were put into the Hall of Fame this year by the Veterans Committee. 1-2 pitch. Outside. Boy, nearly got away from the catcher Homan, but he was able to block that bad boy. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jack Morris. Now, there's a candidate. There's a guy that had been the topic of much conversation within recent years. The winningest pitcher in the 1980s, but a high earned run average, as time has now been called. Morris, the linchpin of that Tigers starting pitching staff that won the 1984 series. Also helped the Twins to a title in 1991. And won another World Series ring with the Toronto Blue Jays as the pitch is in there for a called strike three. Cam Murray didn't like the call. And now two are gone in the inning. So now Carson Wright will come to the plate. He's walked and scored and flied out to left field. But by golly, Jack Morris was finally able to get in via the Veterans Committee. Alan Trammell, he was one of the top shortstops in the 1980s. Longtime member of the Detroit Tigers. And he was a guy that had to wait for a long, long time as well before getting into Cooperstown. But, Riley, it always makes my heart feel good to see those guys that have been on the ballot for a long, long time, and they finally get in. A grounder over to first, and that will be that for the Scouts. Scouts get a man on, but they're not able to get him in. No runs, a hit, and a man left on base for Xenia. We played 4 here in Grady's Field. We head to the top half of the 5th with Hamilton leading Xenia still 5-4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 5th here at Grady's Field. Hamilton 5, Xenia 4. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We continue to talk about the upcoming Hall of Fame inductions for the Baseball Hall of Fame coming up in Cooperstown, New York this weekend. As Landon Myers will go back to the hill for Xenia. As that pitch is in there for a strike. Already talked about Chipper Jones, Vlad Guerrero, Jim Thome, Trevor Hoffman, Jack Morris, and Alan Trammell. They comprise the 6-man class here in 2018. There was one particular player that just missed induction, as this will be a bunt up the third base line, and Bills will just simply flip it on over to Myers. Didn't even attempt a throw over to first as Hamilton laid down a beautiful bunt that time, his second hit of the night.
Yeah, beautiful bunt there up the third baseline and just really died a little bit. Myers out of the reach of Myers and Lindsay and out of the reach of Bills to get in time for a throw. Great bunt there by Hamilton.
Sean McGeehan now batting for the Joes. He has struck out swinging, and he's also flied out to left field. And McGeehan with a foul ball up the third base line. Former Mariners designated hitter Edgar Martinez, he just missed out on induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2018. You have to get 75% of the vote and able to qualify for the Hall of Fame, and he got 70.4%. The pitch is in there for a strike. Now, Martinez got a big boost in terms of votes this year, up 11.8% from the previous year. He'll be entering his 10th year on the ballot next year, and a new rule that was put in, instead of being on the ballot for 15 years, you can only be on the regular ballot for a total of 10 years as the pitch is outside for a ball. 1-2 the count on McGeehan. logic would dictate that Martinez stands a pretty good chance of getting elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's only one of the greatest designated hitters of all time. I know there's some people out there that don't care for the fact that a player that was only known for his hitting might be going into the Hall of Fame, as that pitch is outside for a ball. But the fact of the matter is, Riley, specialized or not, Martinez had a very, very good skill, and that was hitting the cover off the baseball.
Yeah, when you have a skill like that, that's going to get you into games. And Martinez was very successful for a very long time, and that's just not something you see a lot in baseball. Is longevity.
1-2 pitch, grounded up the middle, 6-3, double play. Tuttle tagging the second base bag with his foot, throw on to first in time, and now 2 are gone for Hamilton. Nice play by Tuttle.
Yeah, Taylor May, that's a pitcher's best friend right there. Myers got that grounder up the middle, hit hard enough to Tuttle, so Tuttle could take it to the bag and throw it in first in time.
So now 2 gone in the inning, and now Chandler Miller will come to the plate, the second baseman. He's got a couple singles. 2 for 2 on the night so far. That pitch is on the outside corner. Now, one player that could stand to get a big increase and almost get induction into the Hall of Fame next year, that would be former Yankees and Orioles right-hander Mike Mussina, as the pitch is up high for a ball, 1-1 the count. He had 63.5% of the vote this year. He'll be entering his 6th year on the ballot. So I would imagine that he'll probably be hitting somewhere around 70%. And then maybe, just maybe, his big year will come in 2020 as the pitch is inside. Meanwhile, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, 2 fantastic players, shrouded under the cloud of PED suspicion. As the pitch is inside once again, 3-1 the count on Chandler Miller. They continue to be stuck in baseball purgatory, for lack of a better term. Bonds with 56% of the vote. Clemens, meanwhile, with 57% of the vote. Both those players will be entering their 7th year on the ballot as the pitch is up high for a ball. And that'll be a walk for Chandler Miller. It'll keep the inning going for Hamilton as Tyler Thaman will come to the plate. Riley, how do you feel about the situation involving Clemens and Bonds? Do you think they will get into the Hall of Fame at some point?
I think it's definitely possible that they'll get into the Hall of Fame at one point. If it was up to me, I probably wouldn't vote either of them in, considering, I mean, they used PEDs. They cheated. They cheated the game when so many other players didn't, and they came in every day and had respect for the game and played it the way it should be, whereas those two looked to get an extra advantage.
0-1 pitch on the way. Thaman with a single into right field. So now runners are on first and second for the Joes with 2 gone here in the top half of the 5th. And now Colin Homan will come to the plate. Well, I'll say this. If they let Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds into the Hall of Fame before Pete Rose, then there's something wrong with the process. There's something wrong with the process. I would vehemently disagree with that. As Colin Homan comes to the plate for Hamilton, struck out swinging, and a fly out to center, a foul ball off to the right. Eater gives chase, but it's out of play. I mean, that would be the ultimate slap in the face for Rose. The fact that he has been banished from the game since 1989, and you see these 2 guys in Clemens and Bonds walk into the Hall of Fame despite all the trouble that they got into with steroids, with performance-enhancing drugs. That would just be a shame. Fly ball out in the center. Murray with the sliding catch. And that will end the inning for the Joes. What a play right there by Cam Murray. No runs, 2 hits, couple men left on base for the Joes. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Hamilton 5, Xenia 4, here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Can you guys turn the lights on, please?
Probably wouldn't hurt to turn on the dugout lights, too. We head now to the bottom half of the fifth here at Grady's Field. Hamilton 5, Xenia 4. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Well, we've been talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame. How about we go ahead and get you some Major League Baseball scores now? They're in the bottom half of the fifth in Baltimore. The hometown Orioles leading the Boston Red Sox in that one 4-3. Top half of the fifth in Philadelphia. The Dodgers leading Philly in that one 2-0. Top half of the seventh in Toronto. Hometown Blue Jays trailing the Minnesota Twins in that one 2-0. Bottom half of the sixth at Tropicana Field. The Yankees with a 2-0 lead over the Rays. How about the Pittsburgh Pirates lately? Winners of 10 straight, going for their 11th straight win. Right now they are hammering the Indians in Cleveland. 9-2, top half of the fifth at Progressive Field. Digging in for the Scouts now is Caleb Beater. He'll lead things off against the right-hander Middendorf. The pitch. And that is a strike on the outside corner. Beater has an RBI sac fly. And he's also flied out to center field tonight. 0 for 1 officially so far on the evening. Here is the 0-1. Eater swings, and that's fouled off to the left. They're about to go to the top half of the sixth at Citi Field. Mets leading the Padres in that one 6-2. Bottom of the sixth in Cincinnati. The Cardinals leading the Reds 1-0. As this will be a liner down the right field line, it's fair. Caleb Beater is busting it over to second. Throw into second in time. Well, credit Caleb Beater with some hustle that time, but a strong throw by Thaman guns him down for the first out of the frame.
Yeah, and I liked where Eater's head was at. He was being aggressive. He had a good hit. He was aggressive right out of the box. We saw him busting it down the line. He was thinking 2 all the way. And that's just what happens sometimes when you're aggressive, but at least you got out being aggressive.
So now a strike taken by Ryan Bertelsmann. He's 2 for 2 on the night. A single, a double, and a couple runs scored. He's had a nice evening offensively for Xenia so far. 0-1 pitch. That's in their first strike as well. They're in the top half of the third at Wrigley Field. Still no score between the Chicago Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Top half of the third in Arlington, Texas. The Texas Rangers leading the Oakland A's 2-0 in that ballgame. So that pitch is down low for a ball, 1-2. They have just gotten underway in Milwaukee. The Brewers already trailing the Washington Nationals 1-0 in the bottom of the first. As Middendorf readies with the 1-2. Here it comes. And Bertelsmann will send a grounder over to third. Coffey's up with it. Throw to first is in time. And quickly 2 gone here for the Scouts in the bottom of the fifth. So now Nick Tuttle will come to the plate. Top half of the third in Kansas City. The Royals leading the Tigers 2-0. They are currently in a rain delay in Colorado. The Rockies getting set to play host to the defending World Series champion Houston Astros. And then a couple of West Coast games. First the pitch by Middendorf, and the pitch is a strike to Tuttle. Actually, before I get to the West Coast games, there was a final from earlier today. The Marlins beating the Braves by a final of 9-3. 0-1 pitch. Tuttle with a grounder up the middle. And it's off the glove of the second baseman, Miller. That will go down as a base hit for Tuttle. More importantly, it'll keep the inning going for the Scouts.
Number 16, Chandler Chambers.
So now Chandler Chambers comes to the plate, 2 for 2 with a couple singles. Go ahead, Riley.
Yeah, Middendorf even got a little piece of Tuttle's sharply hit ground ball there and the second baseman. So Tuttle, a very powerful grounder there, able to get on safely.
So as Chandler Chambers digs in, perfect 2 for 2 on the night with a couple of singles. Middendorf looking in for his sign. The pitch. And it's a grounder out to short. throw to first will be in time. That's that for the Scouts offensively. By the way, 2 West Coast games tonight. The Angels play host to the Chicago White Sox, and the Giants head out to Seattle to take on the Mariners. We have played 5 here at Grady's Field. We head to the top half of the 6th. Hamilton 5, Xenia 4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We're heading out of the top half of the 6th here at Grady's Field. It is a 5-4 ball game. Hamilton holding the 1-run lead over the Scouts right now. By the way, a very special thank you to our sponsor, Snap Fitness. It is their mission to deliver the most rewarding fitness experience in the world. When the Scouts go work out, they work out Snap Fitness. Snap Fitness, the official gym of the Xenia Scouts. Boy, I went to the gym today. My trainer wore me out today. But I was still able to get here to the ballpark and broadcast with my good buddy Riley Harsman. High fly ball, out to left field. Sent out there by Coffey, and it will be caught by Cam for the first out of the inning.
And Myers has been very, very impressive here in his relief effort, try to keep the Scouts in this game, and he's really been working with his curveball very well. He's been getting it on swinging strikes and on a lot of pop-ups.
So far, he has scattered 4 hits in 2 2/3 innings pitched. No strikeouts and only 1 walk for Myers, as he will now go to work on the leadoff man, Trey Compton. Compton will take a strike on the outside corner. The man they call Trey, a single, and a pop-out to short. He's also scored a run in this game. Compton with a foul ball at the plate. In fact, Compton came around to score on the 2-run homer by the shortstop McConnell back in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch from Landon. And this will be a squibber out to shortstop. Tuttle. Strong throw. Guns it. 2 gone.
Those type of squibblers, as you mentioned, are something that really, on this field, have really produced a lot of infield singles. But Tuttle got a great jump charging that ball and threw it on the run, on the hop, and beautiful throw got him out at first.
So now coming to the plate is the man who hit a titanic 2-run homer over the left field wall, Justin McConnell. That coming back in the 3rd inning. Myers with the pitch, and this will be a grounder over to 3rd. Bill's up with it. Oh, and Bill's throw is nowhere near Eater. As heading over to McConnell, or heading over to 2nd, I should say, is McConnell. That'll be an obvious throwing error on Bill's E5. Put a little too much mustard on that hot dog that time. So 2 gone, a runner at 2nd for the Joes, and now that'll bring Griffin Dorsey to the plate, a scenario that Myers was hoping that he would avoid, at least in this inning, after that ground ball by McConnell, excuse me. Dorsey so far in the night has been pretty quiet. Strikeout swinging, ground out to short, and a foul out to the first baseman. This will be a foul ball off to the right, out near the Joes bullpen. 0-1 the count on Griffin Dorsey. Well, despite the 0 for 3 night so far for Dorsey, Still batting .310. I'd say that's pretty good. Myers, pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Dorsey in 2 strikes and nothing count. It's so easy to say, no balls, 2 strikes, 0-2 hole. Folks, sometimes you have to change it up a little to keep things fresh. 0-2. That is a call, strike 3 as Myers sets down Dorsey, looking. Joes are retired as a result. No runs, no hits. A man left on base for Hamilton. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. Hamilton 5, Xenia 4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Probably Mendor's last inning. I would imagine he's at like 85 pitches.
Whoa, how about this? Mayfield, 4 years, $30 million.
What? Why are these rookies getting so much money?
It's a collective bargaining agreement.
Oh.
It makes it that much easier for clubs to sign their draft picks. That way you can avoid the long holdouts, a.k.a. Joey Bosa a couple years ago.
Yeah, makes sense.
But good. Brown's got him signed. Now all I need to do is sign Denzel Ward, and we're good to go. Top half, bottom half of the 6th. Kind of getting a little ahead of myself. As the Scouts will come to bat, trailing Hamilton 5-4. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. We hope that you are having a pleasant Tuesday evening wherever you may be listening to our broadcast or watching our broadcast. Xenia Scouts Baseball on YouTube.com. And we thank you very much for the continued patronage during this 2018 campaign for your Scouts. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up here for Xenia. Jarrett Lindsay, Ben Bills, and Zach Bacon. And if any of those guys get on, we get to see Cam Murray bat once again for Xenia. So now Middendorf will go to work against Lindsay, and that pitch is down low for a ball as we are rapidly approaching the 9 o'clock hour here in southwestern Ohio. Beautiful night for baseball here in Xenia. 1-0 pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2-0 the count on Lindsay, who has struck out looking and who's also flied out to right. He is 0 for 2 on the night so far. Looking to get something going against Middendorf. The pitch. Down low for a ball. 3-0 the count on Jarrett Lindsay. Lindsay back into the right-handed batter's box. The pitch. That's in there for a strike. So far, Middendorf has given up 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 8 hits. He has struck out 2, and he has walked 1. That is in 5 innings of work so far. The pitch. Did Lindsay go? No, he did not. He checked his swing on a pitch outside. So Jarrett Lindsay with a walk. Represents the potential tying run for the Scouts as now Ben Bills will come to the plate. Actually, pinch hitter will be coming to the plate for Xenia.
Hitting for Bills is number 3, Truman Brown.
Truman Brown coming to the plate, the senior from Austin P. Native of Clarksville, Tennessee. This will be a bunt attempt that will hit foul along the right side. Boy, it was pretty fun seeing Truman Brown's family come up from Tennessee and support their hometown guy this coming last week. Got to see his mom, his dad, siblings, friends. That was pretty cool to see. As the bunt attempt will be successful for Truman Brown. It'll go down as 1-3, but in the meantime, Jarrett Lindsay able to move up to second on the play. 1 gone in the inning.
Number 20, Zach Bacon.
So now Zach Bacon will be tasked with either trying to advance Lindsay another base or perhaps drive him in. Bacon with a fly out to right, and then a single. That coming back in the fourth inning. Officially 1 for 2 on the evening so far. Mindorf, meanwhile, with a quick kick and delivery, and that is foul tip into the catcher's mitt by Bacon. 0-1 the count. Looks like somebody might be getting loose in the Scouts bullpen. Appears it might be a right-hander of some sort. As soon as we know more information, we will pass it along to you. Meantime, 0-1 on the outside corner for a call strike. Mindorf getting ahead. No balls, 2 strikes.
Mindorf's slider's been very impressive today against the Scouts. He's been using it in all sorts of situations, whether it be 2 strikes or setting up for a strikeout, and just used it there on Bacon. It's just looked very good today.
0-2 pitch on the way. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Zach Bacon. Cam Murray waiting on deck for Xenia. The Scouts trailing the Joes 5-4 here in the bottom half of the 6th. Potential tying run sitting out there at second in the form of Jarrett Lindsey. Here's the pitch. Bacon swings and misses. Goes down on strikes. 2 gone. So now Cam Murray coming to the plate. Reached on an error back in the first. Later came around to score. Ground out to short in the second. And then a strikeout looking coming back in the fourth. And here's a fly ball. Out to right field. Racing in is Thaman. And he'll make the catch for the final out of the inning. So the Scouts, you get no runs, no hits, and they ultimately leave 1 man on base. We head to the top half of the 7th. It's still Hamilton 5, Xenia 4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 7th here in Xenia. Hamilton 5, Scouts 4. Xenia still looking for their 10th win of the 2018 season. They've been stuck on 9 for quite some time. They have not won a game since winning that second game of the doubleheader up at Grand Lake, and that's going back 2 weeks. So they're looking to snap this long winning streak and feel good about themselves after tonight's game. Landon Myers, meanwhile, he's been doing a pretty good job coming out of the Scouts bullpen and keeping this at a 1-run deficit. Here's a high fly ball out to right field. Going back and over the wall, as tumbling over the right field wall was right. That's a solo homer for Chris Hamilton. And now it's a 2-run lead for the Joes. Hamilton 6, Xenia 4.
That was the first mistake pitch we've seen Myers throw. That curveball just hung up in the zone a little bit, then dropped down as we've been seeing it drop for most of this game, and just stayed up in the zone, and Hamilton just wailed on it.
Second homer of the night for the Joes. McConnell with a 2-run homer back in the third. So, a little bit of breathing room for the Joes as the solo homer goes over the wall for Hamilton. His 3rd hit of the night. The pitch. Here's a grounder out to short. Up with it is Tuttle. Throw to first. In time. 1 gone. I'll bring Chandler Miller to the plate. He has reached base all 3 times he's been up tonight. Couple singles and also a walk. That coming most recently back in the 5th. Got to give this Joes squad some credit. They They know how to crush baseballs. Led by their big-time designated hitter, Griffin Dorsey. They've been tearing the cover off the ball here in 2018, and they still have a fighter's chance, a chance to potentially make the playoffs here in 2018. Myers with the pitch, and this is fouled off to the right. 1-1 the count. As we sit here tonight, Hamilton, game and a half back of Galleon for that third and final playoff spot. Galleon 18-17, Hamilton 17-19. 2-1 now the count on Chandler Miller. As Landon rocks and deals, and that is outside. So now the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike on Chandler Miller. Tyler Thaman waiting on deck for the Joes. And here's a fly ball out to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. So now Tyler Thaman will come to the plate. Thaman already has a couple of hits under his belt tonight. 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Looking to add to the hit total right here. Joes, 6 runs on 11 hits. They've committed 2 errors in the field. Meanwhile, Xenia, 4 runs on 6 hits, and they too have committed 2 errors in the field. Pitch is outside for a ball to Thaman. Wears number 21 on the back of the jersey. Plays right field. Now you know, when you think of the number 21, when you think of right fielders, as this is fouled off to the right. And Riley, you can back me up on this. You think of 2 names right off the bat. The great Roberto Clemente, Pittsburgh, and Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs.
Those are definitely 2 names that come to mind when you think of the numbers 21 and the right fielder. 2 very good Latin American players that made a great career out of themselves.
Pitch is on the outside corner for a call strike. 1-2 the count on Thaman. Clemente hailing from Puerto Rico, and Sosa coming from the Dominican Republic. Clemente playing most of his career with the Pirates, all of his career with the Pirates, as a matter of fact, as that pitch is swung on and missed. Thaman becomes a strikeout victim, 2 gone. Sosa, meanwhile, playing the vast majority of his career with the Cubs. Also played for, let's see here, the White Sox, the Rangers, and the Orioles for a time. Still continues to baffle me that after all these years, the Cubs have not let Sosa come back into the fold as Colin Holman digs in for Hamilton as that pitch is down low for a ball, 1-0 the count. In fact, Sammy Sosa, he was recently featured in the Where Are They Now issue of Sports Illustrated. He's doing pretty well for himself. Lives out in Dubai, has many international business interests, and the Cubs still have yet to give him a statue or retire his jersey. As that is caught by Landon for the final out of the frame. Solo homer by Hamilton increases the Joes' lead to 2. It's 6-4 in favor of Hamilton as we head to the bottom half of the 7th here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. New pitcher on for the Hamilton Joes as we begin play in the bottom half of the seventh after doing a little bit of stretching here at the ballpark. Hamilton 6, Xenia 4. New pitcher on the mound is Donovan Thacker. He's a native of Southgate, Michigan, 6'3", 190-pound sophomore at Madonna University. And no, it's not a school where you go to become the next pop sensation. It's an actual school. 3-2 record, 5.60 earned run average, making his 9th appearance of the season for the Joes. Does have a save on the year, 35 and a 30 in his pitch. He's struck out 20, and he's walked 17. He takes over for Ryan Middendorf, who pitched pretty well. Put his team in a position to win tonight. 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 8 hits, while striking out 3 and walking 2. So Middendorf's night is done. Thacker enters, and the first batter that he will see in this inning is Carson Wright. Wright walked and scored back in the first. Later followed that up with a fly out to left and a ground out to first. Wright stepping into the left-handed batter's box against the right-handed throwing Thacker. Thacker with a high leg kick in the delivery, and that pitch is in there for a strike. We were talking last inning about the batter Tyler Thaman. Right fielder wears number 21. And as we mentioned, 2 very talented right fielders wore that number at the major league level, that being the great Roberto Clemente and Sammy Sosa. Talked a little bit about Sosa, about how the Cubs have not welcomed him back into the fold. Tom Ricketts, the Cubs CEO, has made it clear that once Sosa has righted his wrongs in the past, he hasn't come out and said it, but you can infer from that statement that he wants Sosa to come clean about his supposed steroid use. Ricketts wants Sosa to apologize for those past transgressions, and only then will the Cubs welcome Sammy Sosa back. As that pitch is in there for a called strike 3. Wright goes down looking, 1 gone. I mean, Sammy Sosa had a pretty good quote in that article that I was talking about, the "Where Are You Now" issue for Sports Illustrated, as Caleb Eater comes in. I hit more homers than Ernie Banks, Hall of Famer, and he has a statue. What do I have? Nothing. Might have used an expletive or 2 in that statement, but you kind of get the gist. As that pitch is down low for a ball. But Riley, let's face it, man, when Slammin' Sammy was doing his thing on the north side of Chicago, as the 1-0 bounces away, 1-1, 2-0 the count, boy, was he fun to watch.
Yeah, Sosa was a very fun player to watch in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, he could do it all. He's a good fielder, great hitter, and he's just an electric player, you know, the type that really gets your eyes glued to the TV whenever he's on it. And, you know, he had the corked bat issue and during his Cubs tenure, and also obviously the steroid accusations. So it's pretty obvious that, or it's pretty understanding that a Cubs CEO would want an explanation for all that.
Pitch is outside for a ball. Well, hopefully they get that relationship rectified. Sosa will go down as one of the more talented players to ever don that blue pinstripe uniform for the Chicago Cubs. Down low for a ball. Brought a lot of excitement to Wrigley Field during a time when, let's face it, the Cubs were just not all that great of a team. Slammin' Sammy. Boy, there was a time where he was the most powerful athlete in Chicago, as that pitch is down low for a ball, and Caleb Eater earns himself a walk. Of course, this was after Michael Jordan had retired for the second time. As Ryan Bertelsmann will now come to the plate. Bertelsmann has singled. He has doubled. He's also grounded out the third. Overall tonight, he's got an RBI and a couple runs scored. So Bertelsmann now getting set to go to work here against Thacker, the newly inserted pitcher for the Joes. Thacker with a pitch. Outside for a ball. Holman doing a nice job of keeping that ball from going to the backstop. Of course, the other right fielder that we were talking about, Roberto Clemente. I mean, what else can you say about the guy? Tremendous arm. I will put Roberto Clemente's arm against any arm in the history of Major League Baseball. He had an absolute cannon. Just ask the 1971 Baltimore Orioles. As that pitch is on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1 the count. Great hitter, 3,000 hits, right on the nose, a fierce competitor. Whenever he took to the ball field, 1-1 pitch, down low for a ball. One of the things that Clemente would do as he was coming to the plate, he would drag his bat in the dirt. Didn't matter if he was playing at Three River Stadium or anywhere else in Major League Baseball, but he had this menacing presence as he would come to the plate. 2-1 pitch. Bertelsmann swings and sends a fly ball out to right field. How appropriate. Catch is made by Thaman for the second out. Nick Tuttle coming to the plate now for Xenia. He's been hit by a pitch and he's singled a couple times. But of course, Clemente taken from us way too soon. Trying to deliver some supplies after a tremendous earthquake rocked Central America. And because the plane was so weighted down by those supplies, upon takeoff, crashed into the water off of his native Puerto Rico. And Clemente was never seen again. As that pitch is taken for a call strike. Clemente, one of the few players that, following his death a year later, was posthumously inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. As the 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike. I think the only other player for that so-called honor to be bestowed upon them was Lou Gehrig after he died of ALS. But two talented players in their own right, Clemente and Sosa. Here's the 0-2. That is a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. So, or did he check? Yes, he did. Okay. So Nick Tuttle, as the Bee Gees once sang, staying alive, staying alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Xenia shortstop. Runner first is Eater. Thacker, meanwhile, with the 1-2. And here's a base hit into right field. Trying to make a play on that ball was the second baseman, Miller. In fact, he ended up gloving it, but by the time he got into his glove, Tuttle had already beat him to the bag. So now a couple runners for the Scouts. They got the potential tying run at first.
They got Chambers up now, who's had a pretty good day at the plate for himself. Let's see if he can get another hit and make something happen for the Scouts.
Single, and ground out to short. That's been the night for Chambers so far. Thacker with the pitch, and that's on the outside corner for a call strike. Nice job of spotting the fastball that time with that location. Hamilton 6, Scouts 4, Xenia right in here in the bottom half of the 7th. And that will be, well, a check swing, but Chambers went. 0-2 the count on Chandler. Chambers waiting on the 0-2 from Thacker. The pitch. That's fouled back. So we'll do it once again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bottom half of the 7th. Scouts trailing Hamilton 6-4. They have runners on first and second. Caleb Eater takes his lead off of second. Tuttle does the same off of first. The 0-2. Grounder up the third base line, foul. So the count will stay at no balls and 2 strikes on Chandler Chambers. Lights shining brightly here at Grady's Field on a beautiful Tuesday night in Southwest Ohio. Chambers windmilling the bat around as he waits on the 0-2. Here it comes. Outside for a ball. 1-2 the count on Chambers. As a right-hander continues to warm up at the pen for the Scouts. Chandler taps home plate with the bat. He waits on the 1-2 from Thacker. Here it comes. That's a called strike 3 on the outside corner. As the Scouts go down here in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, a hit, couple men left on base for Xenia. We head to the top half of the 8th. It is Joe's 6, Scouts 4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Scouts is the right-hander, Owen Pyatt. Taking over for Xenia. No record, earned run average of 13.80. His 8th appearance of the season for the Scouts. In 15 innings pitched, he has struck out 16, and he's walked 16. And the task that he has been handed is keeping this deficit at 2 as Hamilton leads Xenia 6-4 here in the top half of the 8th.
Now pitching for your Xenia Scouts, number 35, Owen Bryant.
Addison Coffey will now bat for the Joes. He has walked and scored. He has singled. And he also has a fly out to center. So officially 1 for 2 on the night is the Joes' third baseman, Coffey. Coffey gets into the right-handed batter's box against the right-hander, Pyatt. Third pitcher of the night for Xenia. And that's swung on and missed. So with Pyatt entering the game, that means that the night is done for Landon Myers. Myers ends up going 4 1/3, gives up 1 run on 6 hits, struck out 2, and walked 2. As that pitch is swung on and missed, and now it's an 0-2 hole for Addison Coffey. You know, anytime I see the last name Coffey, I instantly think of the old Reds reliever Todd Coffey. He would sprint in from the Reds bullpen, and then he would give up 2 home runs. As that pitch is outside for a ball because he was tired running to the mound. Affable guy, big red beard. Seemed to be a fun-loving guy. And an interesting tenure with the Reds, shall we say. As that pitch is outside for a ball. But now we focus our attention on Addison Coffey, as he is now working with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pitches outside from Pyatt. So now we will go full 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. That swung on and missed. Pyatt strikes out the first batter he faces as Coffey goes down swinging, 1 gone.
we've definitely seen a lot of improvement from Pyatt after his first couple appearances with the Scouts. Saw a few issues, but he's really honed down and really improved, which is what these summers are all about, is improving your game, improving your craft, and bringing it back to school ball.
Trey Compton, now the batter for the Joes. He's had a busy night at the plate as he swings and misses. Single, single, pop out to short, ground out to short. So officially 2 for 4 on the night. Compton will try to check his swing, but he went. No balls and 2 strikes on the Joes left fielder. Pitch is swung on and missed. Boy, nice start to the inning for Pyatt as he struck out the first 2 batters that he's seen. 2 gone.
Yes, command of his fastball is very good through these first 2 batters. He looks like he's got a little extra pop on it too. His velocity looks up than what we've seen in previous performances.
So now Justin McConnell will come to the plate. He had a big blow off his bat earlier in this game, a 2-run homer back in the 3rd, and he sends a fly ball out to left field, and the catch will be made by Nick Tuttle to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the right-hander, Owen Pyatt. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Scouts still trail the Joes 6-4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We now head to the bottom half of the 8th. Beautiful night for baseball here at Grady's Field as Hamilton continues to lead the Scouts 6-4. Jarrett Lindsey coming to the plate, 0 for 2 on the night with a walk. That coming back in the 6th inning. Donovan Thacker continues to work on the hill for the Joes, the right-hander. Rocks and deals. And that pitch is inside for a ball. Want to know the count? Jarrett Lindsey. And the pitch is in there for a strike. By the way, Truman Brown entered the game. He's now at third base for the Scouts. Pinched hit for Ben Bills. Actually, that spot's going to be coming up here pretty soon, right after Lindsey. And that pitch is down low for a ball. 1-1 the count. Actually, 2-1 the count on Lindsey. Excuse me. Here's the 2-1. That's up by for a ball. 3-1 the count. Boy, if you listen closely here at the ballpark, you can start to hear the cicadas. And there's also a firefly right outside our booth.
That's summer in Ohio, if I've ever heard of cicadas and fireflies.
Yep. 3-1 pitch, grounded right back to Thacker. He'll toss on over to first for the first out of the frame. Now the fireflies, they're cool. I can definitely deal with them. Cicadas, on the other hand, boy, those are annoying little buggers. So with one gone in the inning, Truman Brown will now come to the plate. Brown grounding out 1-3 his last time up. That coming on a sac bunt. So now let's see what Truman can do in this spot. Thacker with the pitch, and that's in there for a called strike. That was a curveball that Brown initially thought would hit him in the back, but it curved back towards the inside part of the plate just in time for a called strike for Thacker. The 0-1. That's on the outside corner. So first pitch breaking ball, a second pitch fastball, and now Brown finds himself in an 0-2 hole. The 0-2 pitch. Brown, did he check his swing? Yes, he did, upon further review. So he'll stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Truman Brown. Zach Bacon waiting on deck for Xenia. Joe's 6, Scouts 4. Here in the bottom half of the 8th. The pitch. And here is a jam shot into right field. Feynman under it and making the catch for the second out.
Number 20, Zach Bacon.
So now Zach Bacon will come to the plate. A fly out to right, a single, and a strikeout swinging. Zach is officially 1 for 3 on the evening. He'll look to keep this inning going for Xenia. Thacker, meanwhile, looking for a 1-2-3 frame. The pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. These two teams will be playing one another tomorrow night, but the venue will change. We'll be heading down to Hamilton, the home of the Joes. 7:05 first pitch scheduled for that affair. As that pitch is swung on and fouled off, 0-2 the count now on Bacon, and we hope that you will join Riley and I for another presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network for some Wednesday night baseball from Hamilton, Ohio. Pitches up high for a ball. 1-2 the count on Bacon. Cam Murray waiting on deck for the Scouts. The 1-2. Up high. 2-2 the count now on Bacon. Infield, outfield, playing Bacon pretty much straight away. As Thacker looks in for a sign from his catcher Homan, he has it, the 2-2, and Bacon swings. Oh, what a play by Coffey down there at the hot corner. That's the way to end an inning in grand style as Coffey lays out and makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Thacker. We head to the top half of the 9th. Hamilton 6, Xenia 4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Top half of the 9th here at Grady's Field. Hamilton 6, Xenia 4, and Griffin Dorsey comes to the plate. Well, if there's one positive to take away for the Scouts tonight, they have held Hamilton's best hitter 0 for 4. Dorsey with a couple of strikeouts, a ground out to short, and a foul out to first. All total 0 for 4 on the night, as he'll take a strike. from Owen Pyatt. Let's see what Pyatt can do as an encore after retiring the side in order with a couple of strikeouts back in the eighth as that pitch is down low for a ball. 1-1 the count. Griffin Dorsey. I mean, Jesus, with a name like that, you have to wonder, well, you have to think that he's a slugger. A powerful presence with that name. Two-one pitch coming from Pyatt. That swung on and missed. Count even to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
With every swing we see Dorshing swing tonight, it just seems like he's going for the fence every time he cocks that bat around.
2-2. Outside. 3-2 the count. And this is interesting. Dorsey, the barehanded look for a while while gripping the bat. He's got batting gloves on. I think the big fella's wanting to change things up at the plate. That swung on and missed. Griffin Dorsey strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. 1 gone in the inning.
Pyatt's just really keeping it coming with that fastball. He's commanding it very well. And like I said, it's got a little extra pop on it tonight.
3rd strikeout of the night for Pyatt. And now Chris Hamilton comes to the plate. Hamilton 3 for 4, couple singles, and a solo homer that came back in the 7th. That pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. He's also scored a couple times on the night, has Hamilton. That pitch is in there for a called strike. How appropriate that a man with the last name of Hamilton plays for a team that resides in a town called Hamilton. As the 0-2's on the way, and that is a called strike 3. Hamilton thought it was high. I thought so too, but it will go down as another strikeout for Owen Pyatt. 2 gone.
Number 10, Sean McGowan.
Sean McGeehan now coming to the plate. McGeehan has struck out. He has flied out to left. He is grounded into a 6-3 AA, and he's also grounded out to shortstop. So McGeehan looking for his first hit of the night as he faces what's turned out to be a red-hot Owen Pyatt as that pitch is fouled off. Pyatt, to this point, has struck out 4 of the 5 batters that he has faced tonight. The only player putting it in play was was McConnell, who popped out to short. As that pitch is inside for a ball. 1-2 the count. Pyatt just has some extra zip on that ball tonight. Here's the pitch. That is, let's see here, swung on and missed. And the count is 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Here's a fly ball out to center field. That sends Murray back, but Cam is able to make the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Owen Pyatt as he delivers 2 innings of really well-thrown baseball right there. So now we head to the bottom half of the ninth. Do the Scouts have a rally in them? We head to the bottom half of the ninth with the Joes leading the Scouts 6-4 here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Ryan Schmidt. Okay. Check this out.
New pitcher on the mound for the Hamilton Joes, the left-hander Ryan Schmidt, native of Cary, Illinois, 6'1", 190-pound sophomore for the Butler Bulldogs. Comes into this game with a record of 0-2, a 4.45 earned run average, making his 13th appearance of the season. 30 and a 30 in his pitch. He's struck out 35. He's walked 8, so he's had a pretty good year, I'd say, for the Joes. Looking for his first save of the season. Has a chance to get it right here with Hamilton leading Xenia 6-4 as we head to the bottom half of the ninth. So now Cam Murray will come to the plate. Top of the order for the Scouts. Let's see if the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League All-Star Cam Murray, Youngstown State product, can get things rolling here for the Scouts in the bottom half of the ninth. Pitches outside for a ball. Schmidt's last appearance coming on July the 20th, so about 4 days ago. Pitched 6 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 7, and walked 1. That coming in an 8-6 loss to Richmond. Fly ball, actually a pop-out to center as the shortstop McConnell is able to make the catch for the first out. So not the start that Xenia was looking for to begin the frame, and now Carson Wright will come to the plate. Scouts need base runners. At the very least, they need to put a couple men on to make the ending of this game fairly interesting. The pitch. And Murray almost got hit by that pitch, but instead it's inside for a ball. 1-0 the count on the Scouts right fielder who's walked and scored, flied out to left, grounded to first, and struck out looking. Pitch up high. So now it's a 2-0 count for Carson Wright. The pitch. That's outside for a ball. Well, if you have listened to enough Scouts broadcasts over the last few weeks, you know that this team has really struggled from a win-loss standpoint. Scouts looking to avoid their 28th loss of the season as the pitch is right there on the outside corner for a called strike. Scouts have lost 12 straight. Looking to snap a 12-game losing streak. Pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 3-2 the count. And a team that's lost 19 out of their last 20. Scouts just looking for some wins before the end of 2018. 3-2. Right swings, pop up, foul territory. Coffey, the third baseman, will give it a look, but it's out of play. So now the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes on Carson Wright. Caleb Eder waiting on deck for the Scouts, hoping to get a chance with a man on perhaps once he comes to the plate. The pitch. And swung on and hit into center field. Carson Wright with a single. And now the potential tying run will come to the plate. That being Mr. Caleb Eder. RBI sac fly in the first, fly out to center in the third, a single back in the fifth, and a walk back in the seventh.
A great job by Carson Wright in that last at-bat, sitting on that breaking pitch and driving it out into center field.
Eder with a foul ball off to the right. Eder waiting on the 0-1. Here it comes. And is outside for a ball. If this score holds up, the winning pitcher will be Hamilton's Ryan Mindorf. The losing pitcher will be Xenia's Ryan Moeller. And a save will be captured tonight. By Ryan Schmidt. Count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Caleb Eder. Taking his lead off of first is Carson Wright. The pitch by Schmidt. Eder swings and fouls it off to the left. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eder Ryan Bertelsmann waiting on deck for Xenia.
I'm surprised with Carson Wright's speed over there at first base. He hasn't been put into motion yet, considering a ground ball could end this game. You would want to think you want to put that guy in a scoring position as soon as possible.
1-2. Wright going. Pitch outside, and the ball was dropped by the second baseman Miller. Therefore, Wright is safe. So how about that, Riley? You get your wish. Carson Wright with a stolen base right there, and a man in scoring position for Caleb Beater. One gone here in the bottom of the ninth. Joe's holding a 6-4 lead over the Scouts. Eater, meanwhile, waiting on the 2-2 from Schmidt. That's down low. Almost hit Eater in the foot. So now we'll go full. 3-2. Right. That's down low. Almost hit Eater in the foot. So now we'll go full. 3-2. Right at second. One gone here in the bottom of the ninth. Scouts down by 2. Looking to get more runners on base at the very least. Schmidt, the southpaw, delivers. This is swung on. It's a high fly ball out to right field. Thaman heading back, makes the catch. Wright will tag on the play as he heads to third. 2 gone. So now it'll be up to Ryan Bertelsmann to keep this game going. Bertelsmann's had a good night at the plate. Couple hits, including a double that came back in the third. Also has an RBI on the night. Looking for RBI number 2 in this spot. Schmidt with the pitch. Bertelsmann swings and misses, 0-1 the count. Bertelsmann waiting on the 0-1 offering. From the left-hander, Ryan Schmidt. The pitch, down low. Gets away from the catcher. Wright took a couple steps towards home plate, but now retreats back to third. Smart decision by Carson as the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt sets on the mound. The pitch. That's on the outside corner. And now the Scouts are down to their final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bertelsmann. Schmidt looking to end it here for Hamilton. The pitch. Fouled off to the left as Bertelsmann stays alive. One ball, 2 strikes. Bertelsmann waiting on the next pitch from Ryan Schmidt. Bertelsmann waiting on the next pitch from Ryan Schmidt. The pitch. Fouled off to the right. Well, at the very least, Bertelsmann is battling here. Waiting on deck for the Scouts. Their best hitter from an average standpoint, that being Nick Tuttle. And you know Nick wants to have a chance here to bat before this game is all said and done. The 1-2. Bertelsmann swings and fouls it off to the right. Long at bat continues for Bertelsmann as he continues to make Schmidt work out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Scouts' designated hitter. Schmidt sets and fires. That is a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Ball game over. Hamilton defeats Xenia by a final of 6-4 tonight here at Grady's Field. Riley and I will be back to wrap things up here in Xenia in just a moment.
Good news for you. Yankees got Britain.
Really? Okay, who they give up?
I don't know. It just said Yankees agreed to deal to acquire former
Well,
All-Star
you know,
catcher Zach Britton.
Riley, that's actually a good move because, for all the praise that the Yankees bullpen gets outside of Chapman, they don't really have an impact left-handed specialist. So that's actually a good pickup right there.
heard we're trying to get him, but we're going to give up Puig and somebody else.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get rid of Puig. He's actually been playing a lot better.
All right. 2 errors for each team.
Yep.
Give me a moment. We'll look up pictures here. They said that Connor Bell was in the game.
That's not right.
Yeah, Bell listed as number 24. Yeah, that can't be right because it was
It was number 4, yeah.
And what was that pitcher's name again?
The last one?
Yeah.
Ryan Schmidt.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to go whenever you are. Back here at Grady's Field, Hamilton defeats Xenia tonight by a final of 6-4. Alongside Riley Harshman, I'm Charlie Danis. Well, Riley, we sound like broken records at this point, but yet another frustrating loss for the Scouts. Done in by a big inning for the Joes, scoring 4 runs back in the third. The Scouts battled back to within 2 runs, but ultimately they're not able to get that big inning and string together hits.
Yeah, it was so close yet so far.
To within 2 runs, but ultimately they're not able to get that big inning and string together hits.
Yeah, it was so close yet so far. It's actually one of the better performances and a loss that the Scouts have had in recent weeks. You know, their hitting was there. They had 10 hits, got 4 runs off those hits. They didn't get a great starting performance from Ryan Mueller, but Landon Myers and Owen Pite did very good jobs coming out of the bullpen. You know, a lot more positives than we've seen in recent weeks for the Scouts, but ultimately it just wasn't enough.
Ryan Mindorf will be getting the win tonight for Hamilton as he improves to 6-1. He goes 6 innings tonight, giving up 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 8 hits, struck out 3 and walked 2 tonight. Meanwhile, Ryan Mueller is the one who will be hit with a loss for Xenia as his record drops to 1-6. It's another rough outing for the Scouts left-hander as he only lasted 2 2/3 innings, giving up 5 runs on 5 hits while striking out 3 and walking 1. And Ryan Schmidt, how about this, picks up his first save of the season as he was able to nail down the win in the bottom half of the ninth for the Joes. Final tallies for both teams tonight. Hamilton, 6 runs on 12 hits. They leave 8 men on base and they commit 2 errors in the field. Meanwhile, for Xenia, they score 4 runs on 9 hits. They leave 9 men on base, and they commit 2 errors in the field as well. Join us tomorrow evening when the Scouts head down to Hamilton to take on the Joes. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05. We hope that you will join us for another presentation of Xenia Scouts Baseball here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. For my broadcast partner, Riley Harshman, this is Charlie Danis saying one final time, the final score tonight from Grady's Field, the Hamilton Joes 6, the Xenia Scouts 4. So long and good night from Xenia, Ohio.